So, a while back you had a dream about uncovering the shadow of the world. Have you gotten any thoughts on that? What do you mean with uncovering the shadow of the world? It sounds kind of big.
Yeah, well, it was I think it was about maybe a year or some time ago. And then I remember I was telling a group of people that I said, now I'm going to uncover the shadow of the world. And it was, yeah. Then at that moment I didn't exactly know what it meant. What I do know is that I was working with dreams from people from all over the world, and but then slowly but surely I started to realize that I didn't even know this, but that it's later that I realized that the word apocalypse means the unveiling, the uncovering, um, and then even though I was referring to that actually, that the uncovering of the shadow of the world is actually what the word apocalypse means. And apocalypse means that we're in a time. This is what like all started to dawn on me. But that the apocalypse is actually the time we're in which the shadow of the world is being unveiled, uncovered, and one can almost see that as that everything that has been concealed is being uncovered. And then before that, I was working very much with individuals, but you see, the shadow is basically the part of us that we are hiding from ourselves. And it can be because of trauma, but it can also be things that we try to hide. For instance, and this is where you get the slip of the tongue as being the truth, like a lie detector test. So you're trying to like say something and then the exact opposite comes out. Basically, the truth. And that's what happens in dreams. In dreams, basically, what we find are like the lies or what is being concealed. And so we're so this is what basically there is a mechanism that is set up to bring out that shadow, which we call the compensation mechanism. And so we have like in us this built-in lie detector in a very real way. The whole lie detector test is a derivative of Jung's, uh, in which he had like what you would call the free association test, in which he would give you a word and you would, without thinking too long, say what word comes up in you based on that word, like to associate on it. And Jung could actually, based on that, pinpoint what complexes you had, like which words would you take the longest to associate on, and stuff like that. But the point was that so the whole lie detector test is a derivative of Jungian, which is and thus a derivative of the compensation mechanism or the slip of the tongue mechanism, which is based on the shadow or the unconscious. And we're now in a time in which this is what it's called apocalypse. We're in a time where everything is coming out that has been concealed and hidden. And when I work with dreams with people, then what comes out is everything that has been hidden. So, for instance, it could start. You could at an individual level, it can be that you had like a big trauma as a child, and something happened to you, and then it caused you great pain, and then you had to conceal that because it was too painful to deal with. Coping. So you would cover that up, for instance, with a kind of a other alter personality, but then this in the dreams would the dreams would take you back to that crime site where you were damaged, which you tend to cover up now. But there's the other side too, the side where you hurt others, and then you also try to hide that. You see, so what I found is that the shadow is on either side of the what I call the yin and the yang. So you would also like hide the things that you, the damage that you inflicted on others. The same way that you would hide the where you were hurt. So then the coming out of the shadow, the uncovering of the shadow means both sides basically. So I've had equal amounts of people come in to see me that really need to revisit the trauma inflicted upon them, but also I've had equal amounts of people that come in to confess. Actually, I've realized I would come home and I would go like, sometimes you feel like a confession practice, because people need to confess their sins unconsciously. But there's this, so that's the yang side where we are. And there's this I spoke the other day to someone and they said, yes, sometimes I just do this stuff because I know I can get away with it. But then there's this little voice that will like tell me, what are you doing? And then so I say, yes, I said nobody knows, but that's the problem. You see, so there's a part of you that knows, and that's going to terrorize you from within. And that's a confession. People want to confess their sins. And so in that sense, we're in a time now of the apocalypse, in the sense that all of this stuff is coming out. And I believe that the internet and all of this, the Facebook and all of that, while maybe there's some stories that do the round that say that these are all instruments to monitor and survey, but on the other hand, these are instruments that are catalyzing the unveiling of the shadow. Everything is coming out. Like in the past, you had a few media that could censor, which would be like the ego, which would censor the unconscious, but nowadays it's impossible. Like if something happens in the Middle East, and we immediately know it. Everybody's taking pictures, everybody's talking about it. So the internet has become a real tool for the apocalypse, the uncovering of the shadow. Nations that have hid their all the things, the bad things they've done, and everything is coming out. You see, and that's the time we're in. The shadow is everything that has been concealed is coming out, and at a very deep level, what this all, you see, this is taking us to the understanding that what I called in a video once, but this was actually a dream that I had, in which I was seeing an article written, I think it's an article written by Jung, or that Jung had given to me, and it was called "On the Immense Value of the Truth."
Yeah.
And it's a long story, and it could take like hours to completely unravel it. But the idea is that everything actually is based on the truth. All value. When you talk about something that is believable, now there's maybe a kind of a movement to lie about what is real and what is not real. Like you would get in the supermarket something, they would say this frozen fresh. You get these kind of oxymorons, but they're lies. The idea is that the truth is believable. And so we cannot fake something, make it believable while it's a lie. And so everything, that's what I wanted to make a long story short. all real value is based on truth and believability. We know that if every something only works if it's believable. The strength of your currency is all based on credibility, all based on actually uh, are you doing what you say you're doing? Are you, you know, can I bank on you? Almost everything in all these words when it comes to currency, money, and all of that is actually based on and credibility. All of these ratings of of Standard and Poor and Fitch and all of that is actually based on believability. Are you believable? Can I believe you? Can I trust you? That's basically the essence of the economy. Basically, that's it. And we're trying to maybe uh, work this with numbers and with mathematics and with statistics and with, you know, with all kind of a magic, but you cannot lie. This is the bottom line. The stock market and the housing market and the derivatives and all of that, it was just lies, and they were trying to manufacture numbers, you know, to hoax believability. But the point. What I'm getting is that, and this is what the essence of the apocalypse is that you cannot lie, and it will come out, and the unconscious comes out. It comes out in symptoms, accidents, slips, and this is a so truth. Even science has become like a fiction of truth, because real truth, there's a deep order and an inner consistency in truth. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite a statement.
What?
Science is a fiction of the truth.
Yeah, because you see, they started to use like statistics to find this thing we call truth, and the idea is that you cannot fake it. It's like democracy. You cannot fake it.
Well, the truth not.
Exactly.
Science you can fake.
No, right, but
that's what's coming out now.
exactly. You know, the numbers, and we're trying to do magic with the numbers, but you cannot lie. There's an inner intrinsic order to truth, and this is, I think, what the apocalypse is about. That the shadow is when we try to hoax that and lie about it, and often I believe that most of what you call, what nowadays is studies in financing and all of that, is actually like science. It's like even law. It has deviated from what it really is. Like, I have some very good friends that are very good lawyers and that teach at the university in the law faculty, and we have this incredible affinity with each other, because the real good lawyers, they know that the law is not what is written on paper. It's something very much more profound. It has to do with legitimacy, the word. You know, it goes back to Max Weber, and so it's something. This is this deep inner thing that is the truth. That where it is always democratic, because it's always independent sources converging on. You know, it's like the people.
Changes with time too.
Exactly, it grows.
It's life.
Yeah, it becomes brighter and brighter, but you see, but we're in a time now that the shadow is being uncovered, you know, and this is what I believe is what the word apocalypse, and also at the core of the apocalypse, the book of Revelation, we find the day of judgment, which is like, you could say, like a court case, and there is a court case going on this planet, right as we speak, and the people are the judge, and
Yeah.
you know, there's even the saying, "Vox populi, vox Dei." The people are the judge, and there's a court case going on, and there's a lot of movements that are bringing out the shadow, and bringing truth movements, and Occupy movements, and